I oh my goodness gracious! Now you know why the camera always stays off. Look at this fucking thing on my head. What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Granit Xhaka coming to you again with a brand new video. Where this time it's just an impromptu video. It's just a fucking video. It's a late night with Chig video. You know how we do because there's lots of stuff happening, and all I get is tweets and questions, and I'm sick of letting you guys down by just not not responding to these things. So I figured I'd just do a video. And you know what? Unbelievably, I still have members to the channel. so I figured, you know what? The people I really owe this video to are the members that keep me afloat on this channel. They really, really do. So literally, this is for you guys and for the subscribers as well, but definitely for the members of the channel. So first and foremost, thank you for standing by me. If you want to become a member, feel free. Moving forward, I want to try and do at least 2 membership shows per week. What are the perks of being a member again? Let me remind you, it's been so long. Let me remind you. Essentially, you get all my pre-recorded shows first. So the chopping block, when it comes back this week, you'll get that first. You'll get my Chigno's Best Video series, which will be back this week. You'll get that first, as well as a couple of other little tidbits that I've replaced. So obviously, I used to have cooking with wine for you. So yeah, so little bits in, here and there. So make sure you look out for that, and a couple of new features as well. So I didn't want to just come back for the sake of coming back. I wanted to come back with some interesting stuff. So I'm hoping you guys like the new material that you'll find. And yeah, just keep it locked. I told you lot 2 weeks ago. They forgot that I run late night YouTube. They forgot that I run late night YouTube. They forgot. They didn't realize. They thought because Chig has been in bad health and hasn't been about really properly consistently for a year. They thought they could nick the spot. Chig's coming back for that spot. So keep it locked, and you'll start to see changes. I promise you, my guys and girls. All right, let's get it cracking, shall we? Let's talk about the main man, the main story, and that is Antonio Conte. So this is, by the way, a membership stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about some subjects. I'm going to invite a couple of you on very briefly to talk about those subjects, and then we're going to call it a day. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a little quick Eagle Eye show. The Eagle Eye show won't be a membership show; it'll just be one for everybody. Literally, we'll just have a little Q&A, be nothing online. It'll just be a little back and forth. Sunday will be when Chopping Block drops. Just so you guys know, Monday, bank holiday, will be when Chigno's Best Video series drops. I've actually already recorded that. It's preloaded. It's ready to go. And my Chigno's Best Video series, if for anyone who doesn't remember it, I did it 2 years ago. And I basically just went through different positions, listed 5 candidates, told you who I would get for those positions. I am literally doing the same thing. All our problem positions, including the manager. I listed 5 people, and then giving you what my recommendation is. So, for anyone who watched that video series, I picked a certain Kieran Tierney initially before I found out he was injured. So there you go. I do have good picks. It's always interesting to see where my picks are now and what they're doing now. All right, so let's get it cracking. Let's talk about Antonio Conte. So Antonio Conte has recently declared, according to Fabrizio Romano, that he's looking to leave Inter Milan. Obviously, since then, we've now known that Inter Milan, I think, have actually moved to replace him, if I'm not mistaken, with someone else. And it looks like there's going to be a little merry-go-round of managers where Conte probably ends up at Real, Zidane ends up at PSG, and then Poch probably ends up at Spurs, and as per usual, Arsenal are left twiddling, dithering, holding their ass again, wondering what happened. Don't get me wrong, I'm more than aware that this could be the case. However, you know, this kind of reminds me of ooh, Arsenal 2013 when was it Klopp came aboard to Liverpool, and I just thought to myself, fuck me, man, we have a chance to bring on like one of the best managers out there, best young managers out there. Yes, has only managed Dortmund, but you just have this feeling that he could be something really major. Um, thank you, Dante. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, I know what that's about, so thank you. Um, so yes. Um, gosh, you thrown me with that one, Dante. Um, my brain's gone. Yeah. Basically, Antonio Conte. Yeah, it was back in 2014, and oh my gosh, I used to talk with so many people, especially at work at the time, about how we have an opportunity to replace a manager or replace Wenger, but we're going to be too scared to do so because there's going to be this what if we shouldn't change it? Maybe we shouldn't change it. We're too classy of a club to actually sack Arsene Wenger. How can we sack Wenger? He's been in the club so long. He deserves to. He deserves to let us know when he wants to go. Um, he's we have too much respect to get rid of him. We're not like any other club. We're not a Chelsea. We're not this. We're not that. And then yet every single year we're wondering why we're left once again twiddling on our thumbs again. And it always seems to happen like that. And I think we have this opportunity once again where Conte is looking to leave Inter. And it's interesting asking people whether they would have Conte at the club. Now, there are some people that just don't particularly like his style. They don't particularly like the way he approaches the job. Maybe they feel as though he's a bit of an awkward, strict manager. I know that there's some people, for example, we're coming off the camera for a second, but I'm here. There's some people, for example, that just feel as though, he's not a good fit for their particular club. Um, and I just know some people like that. There are some people who are Arteta rings, and yes, believe it or not, they still exist. The people who still support Arteta exist, and they would not sack Mikel Arteta for Conte because they believe that Arteta deserves these 6 months. I don't know what people seem to think that is going to happen in the next 6 months that hasn't happened in the last 2 years. I still don't understand the logic of these magical give him till Christmas because that seems to be the bar always. Give him till Christmas. Give him till Christmas. What are you expecting Santa to do for you that Santa has never done for us? Give him till Christmas, you know? And then there are some people who believe that, oh, well, that there are other managers out there other than Conte. Now, you know what? That I could even believe. I can even believe because, I've said all along, for me, I would have Rafa. Having said that, knowing that Conte's out there, I'd have Conte. That's not me flip flopping. I didn't know Conte was an option. so, so knowing that Conte is an option, of course, I would have Conte. Absolutely. Of course, I would have Conte over Rafa. Um, but there are some people who think that there are other options out there other than Conte. And I would be prepared to buy that. What I don't want and what you know is going to happen is Arsenal to just watch the boat go by once all these managerial merry-go-rounds happen, and then we're left wondering why other teams have success and we don't. Yeah, all right. Everyone is laughing at Chelsea at the moment, right? Everyone is laughing at Chelsea and for flopping the final and uh, you know almost flopping top four and that, right? But at the end of the day, so I said it at the time that Chelsea made that decision. We had an opportunity to sack Mikel Arteta when we were 15th. Chelsea had an opportunity to sack Frank Lampard when they were 7th. Chelsea took that chance and look at where they are now. Their season ain't over. Our season was over a month ago, if we're being honest. We're being honest. So it kind of is what it is. We constantly make the wrong decisions and wonder why we're left holding our penis by ourselves in a room with no other option. And I would like us for once to be a little bit sensible. My one hope, and I said this on big up, shout out to Terry and Diesel who run the Claude and the Bouncer channel, and obviously rest in peace to my brother Claude. Um, I said this on there. I think it was yesterday when they covered the Europa League final. I said my one hope that I'm hoping on to is that I've not yet heard anyone on the board come out and definitively say Arteta's my guy this summer. Yeah, it's been a disappointing season, but we're going to still stick with him. The board are still showing faith with him. I'm hoping beyond hope is because they heard that maybe Conte was leaving, and maybe they're holding on to an opportunity to try and replace him. I doubt it because I don't think Arsenal are ruthless or clever enough for that. But I'm hoping beyond hope that that's the case. Sorry, is it up and down? Apologies. Uh, I keep I know why the volume is like that. I will fix that as time goes on. But hopefully, if you can tolerate it for today, that'll be great. Um, but yes, what was I going to say? So I'm hoping beyond hope that that will be the case. I've just got this horrible feeling that Arsenal, as usual, will be caught with their pants down. And it'll be a damn shame because you've got someone like Conte, who I think would come to London, would come to Arsenal, would come to a project. Like a lot of people say, "What you really think he'd come to Arsenal?" The same people that say that are also the same people that seem to think that Conte will give Mikel Arteta, who has failed up until now, to buy players successfully and convert them into a team that finishes higher than eighth. You want me to believe that, but you're not prepared to believe that someone like Conte, who's a proven winner, can come into a team, spend money required, and improve the team to at least finish higher than eighth. I know which one I'm more prepared to believe. That's the hilarious thing. This is. I always find it funny when people say to me, "Oh, well, do you expect Stan to give a new manager money?" Well, doesn't your entire theory depend on Stan giving Arteta money? So what are you talking about? He's either going to give Arteta money or he's going to give the new manager money. Why not give a manager who's prepared to go that extra mile? And and the funny thing is, this is the one and only potentially possible season where if the Kroenkes are to do anything, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. This is the one season where, supposedly Daniel Ek is banging the right drums in terms of public pressure. Spit your own bars as to why you think that is happening. I personally think he's gaining a lot of publicity out of it. But heck, if it means that the consequence of that is that the Kroenkes are under pressure from a public standpoint, let's do it. bang that drum all day long. So they're under pressure. They are under pressure. If there's ever a time they're under pressure, it is now. Not only that, let's face it, their asset is worth a lot less than it was when they started. So if you are a Kroenke, mum's calling me while I'm working. She knows better. Um, if you are um, uh, um, Stan, you think to yourself, blimey, I need to really invest in this team because this team were worth a lot more when I started than right now. So, mind you, this is all under the assumption that this guy gives two shits. I recognize that. This is all under the assumption that this guy gives two shits. I absolutely understand that. Having said that, if there's ever a time he's going to spend money, it's going to be now. I would rather that money goes to a new team, a new manager. Because the other side to this stupid coin is that if you give Arteta these magical 6 months that people seem to want to give him, right? And you give that to him until Christmas, right? Then the bigger the job, the bigger the job for the new manager that comes in. And then let's say the new manager is just as useless as Mikel Arteta. That means you have to spend an extra 6 months giving him his opportunity to improve things because you've given the last guy 6 months too long. That's the irony about this whole thing, this whole stupid situation. In my view, we probably gave, at least in hindsight, we probably gave Emre 6 months too little and Arteta 6 months too long, by the looks of it. But hey ho, it is what it is. I'm I'm just at a point now where I'm just like with Arsenal. I'm kind of taking it as it comes. Um, my mum's. I know she's gonna keep calling until I answer this call, but you know what? I'm just gonna skillfully ignore her and text her in a second. But yes, Arsenal fans are stupid. This is where you just have to question Arsenal fans. I don't particularly like calling Arsenal fans stupid. I've got to admit, it's not my personal way because I do believe that a majority of Arsenal fans think in a sensible way, but they just don't like to get involved publicly. Not every Arsenal fan is on social media. Not every Arsenal fan is on YouTube. And I think most Arsenal fans, when you speak to an Arsenal fan in a pub or you speak to an Arsenal fan, um, you know, just on a day-to-day basis, they agree with what I'm saying. So I don't think it's indicative of Arsenal fans, but I think it is indicative of a certain breed of fans that believe that Arsenal are too we want to be seen to be classy than seen to be successful. And I'm not about that. Not when it comes to football. Not when it comes to football. I'd rather be successful. I'd rather be holding a trophy. I'd rather, yesterday, even though it was stress free watching that game yesterday, I'd have rather Arsenal were in it to have been watching Arsenal in it. I'd have rather Arsenal watching that penalty shootout. So these are the issues that I do think we have. So hey, it is what it is. I don't know what you guys think. Conte for me, number one choice. Rafa, my number two choice. Both are Premier League experience. Both are experienced enough to sort out some of the issues in our team. The only thing that you could probably say for Conte is that he doesn't spend long at a football club. And whenever he does spend time at a football club, it tends to be a very swift exit. So there's always that something and eventually he goes for whatever reason, you know. And admittedly, that is something I will say for Conte. For some reason, he always seems to leave under a bit of a cloud Whereas with Rafa 9 times out of 10 actually it's the opposite. It tends to be very clean exits. I remember Rafa was the one manager that actually managed to get Chelsea fans to apologise to him because he came in there. Do you remember? Who remembers that back in the day when Rafa came in there as like a interim manager, won them the Europa League real quick, got them nice and organised, did a beautiful job managing them, right? Real quick, sorted them out real quick. And then Chelsea fans, they had to eat humble pie because the way they welcomed him in back in the day. I mean, Chelsea fans used to hate Liverpool back in the day for some of their because they had like a deep Champions League rivalry back in the day. So they used to hate Rafa as a result of that. Who obviously used to be the Liverpool manager. Um, so when Rafa became the Chelsea interim coach, I can't even remember who. I think he took over from Jose. I can't remember who he took over from. Right? The hatred that these Chelsea fans had for Rafa was hilarious. But at the same time, you had to. For me, this is why I respect Rafa so much. The guy did not give two shits. The way he saw it was he's there for a job. He's there for a quick job and then he bounces. And it enhances his reputation. It enhances his CV. Because he got his head down in spite of that hostile atmosphere. It was 2013, thank you, Ben. I knew it was around that period, right? Got his head down, did not give two shits. Got his head down, concentrated, got that team performing, won that Europa League, and then bounced. And then the Chelsea fans, they had to eat humble pie and apologize. They had to. They had no choice. They had to say, sorry, Rafa. Thank you. My bad. Wow. And that's why, for me, until I found out Conte was available, Rafa, for me, has always been the clear choice. Because to come into, let's face it, a psychopath fan base like ours, you have to be strong minded. You have to be strong minded, knowing that we've got about 18 different groups within that fan base. They all hate each other. They all have different agendas. So you have to be able to be strong minded. You have to be able to know what you're doing. You have to be experienced. So yeah, for me, he's always been my number one choice. But hey ho, it is what it is. Um, all right, so that's pretty much that. That's what I want to talk about first and foremost. Um, I know there's been other stories today. Granit Xhaka is being linked with a 21.5 million pound move to Roma. Brother, please go. Please go. 21 point. But here's the thing, though, right? I will preface that by saying this. He will do well in Italy. I have said that for years because in Italy, they don't press the ball. So Xhaka will have all the time in the world to pick out his passes, which is what made him attractive to us in the first place. I would implore Xhaka to take that. Take that role. By all means, all day, every day, no problem. Take that. I know that we've been linked with the likes of Neves. We've been linked to all sorts of central midfielders. Um, Basuma. Um, I still love the idea of Basuma and Partey in the middle, personally, because I do think that Partey can play the Xhaka role, just playing it slightly differently, because I think that's what he wants to do, and that's why we've not really seen the best out of um, Partey yet, because I think that's what you ideally want. So if you add someone that kind of anchor it, and Basuma for me, who's someone's got Premier League experience, is an Arsenal fan, and is still young, no brainer. You put those two guys in there, You put in an attacking midfielder that knows what he's doing, just ahead of them. I think you've got your midfield set. So I'd say 21.5 billion. Supposedly, there's a little bit of a discrepancy. Roma, I kept telling Lee. Me and Lee have had this discussion before. His beloved Jose Mourinho loves up Granit Xhaka. This is another evidence of that. Loves him up. Rates it. He's always rated. He's always rated. Um, for me, there's a bit of a discrepancy apparently because um, Roma has only wants to pay 17 million, and Arsenal don't want to accept anything less than 21. Fuck me. Even if you get 15, take that shit. Take that shit and move on. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. But let me know what you guys think. Um, who else? What else? What else? What else? What other story did I see that I found hilarious? Um, Joe Willock. I've changed my mind a couple of times on this. And my final thought with Joe Willock is this. If we could get £25 million for Joe Willock, I'd sell him. I'd sell him because I feel like, for me, the whole point of me sending Joe Willock on loan was the hope that he would do well, raise his value to the point where he would give me cash in the summer to be able to spend. It sounds like plan A and plan B have both worked. So why am I now doubting plan C? Oh, sorry, step A and step B have both worked. So why am I now doubting step C? You know? I see a lot of people thinking, whoa, 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 whoa. No, Joe Willock has kind of smashed records now. Maybe we should keep him. And I think you could keep him. You could certainly listen. Don't get me wrong. He's not a dead cert. He's not, and he won't be on my chopping block necessarily as the crucial people that I would look to get rid of this summer. I've never particularly rated him, and that's not really changed. But he's clearly a different type of midfielder to what we already have, and that's the only thing that kind of makes me think, hold up, pump the brakes. Because if you have, it's always useful to have different types of midfielders. And if you're letting a Guendouzi go, you're letting a Granit Xhaka go, presumably you're keeping Elneny. And then you've got maybe a Joe Willock alongside a Basuma and a Partey. Maybe that might be a decent four to have. Then you've got an Aziz coming through. That might be a decent five to have as central midfielders. So it's an interesting one. I'd love to know what you guys think in terms of, who you would have. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right, before I send the link to have a couple of people on to join me, which I'm not looking to go back and forth, guys. I got work in the morning, so we're going to go until 11 my time. So whatever your nearest hour is, that's the time I'm talking about. But there's one more story I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to have to search it because it is not here. And I thought it was on my screen, and it isn't. 1 second. Da-da-da-da. And I might even come back on camera. Who knows? Transfer news. 1 second. Oh yes, I did want to talk about Odegaard. Don't really care about. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do want to touch on those things too. Okay, right. So let's talk about a couple of other side stories. Yeah. Let's talk about Eddie Nketiah. So supposedly Eddie Nketiah is wanted by Brighton. Oh shit! You know what? Let me just talk to him. One sec. I'm literally doing a show. Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, yeah, no worries, no worries. All right. Good night. Take care. Yeah, we'll do. We'll do. All right. Stay there. I literally knew she was only going to keep calling unless I answered the call. Okay. Eddie Nketiah. Um, so Eddie Nketiah is wanted by Brighton. This was a story that broke yesterday. Um, and it's a shame for this kid, man. I like Eddie, man. I'm gonna lie because me personally, I first saw him what 2 years ago. Live. I actually saw him live at the Emirates. Breakout, scored two beautiful goals, really well taken goals. But you just had this feeling with Eddie that I've watched him two or three times live now. And I always got the feeling, other than his debut, where he did get those two goals, where I didn't think that there was a lot else to him other than that. Like, unless he's in the area and he's trying to do something, there doesn't seem to be a lot of adaptability to him. The guy will move around everywhere for you. But I don't think his link up play is that strong. I don't think his hold up play is that strong. I think there's a lot to his game that, say, Balogun has, which I don't think he does. Um, so I think, from my own personal perspective, I'm kind of happy that at least someone is interested in him. And I think someone like Graham Potter, who I do think is a decent manager. Listen, I ain't trying to tout him for Arsenal, but I do think he's a decent manager. Might be able to help him progress if he is to progress into a decent enough player. I know lots of people think he's a championship player. I think he has the potential to be a lower Premier League sort of striker. He kind of reminds me of Dwight Gale, though. And Dwight Gale has always been a shit Premier League striker, but a decent championship striker. Um, so yeah, I think that from my perspective, I don't know why I keep saying from my perspective. Everything on my channel is my perspective. Um, I think this would be a good move for him. Brighton is a decent enough team that I think he'll get chances to play. And I think they certainly have a decent enough manager that uh, A, I think he'll get opportunities to play, but B, improve his game a lot. So I certainly like to see him play. Do I think that he will move? I hope so. Supposedly, the price going about is 15 million, which I know is confusing people because they're like, well, it will be a swap deal. No, it won't be a swap deal. First of all, Basuma is 30 million plus. Um, we could have let Eddie go for 20 million plus. Remember that. The fact that he's even still being quoted as 15 million is a minor miracle. So I say let's let him go for 15 million. Cut our losses with that one, and just wish him luck. If we can somehow make that a part of the Basuma deal, great, no problem. But for me, I'd just like to see that whole thing conclude as quickly as possible. So let's see what happens. But yeah, we certainly got to speak to Eddie, see what he wants to do, because you would think that his place is very much going to be for Balogun next season. Because that's the only way, surely, if you're Balogun, that you've signed on for next year. It's because they promised you Eddie's spot. So let's see what happens. Um, what was the other story I wanted to talk about? Are there any other stories I wanted to talk about? No. Real Betis being linked with the move for Bellerin, but apparently there's some doubt to that story. Um, who is not joining Arsenal? Uh oh. Let's just see. Oh, Dusan Valahovic. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. All right, let's leave that for now. Does anyone want to quickly come on? Literally 15 minutes though. I'm not on for long. A while, I'm not going to bother talking. You could talk about it. If you want to come on, mate, you could talk about it. Let me know. So literally, this will just be for the members that are in. So Ben, DVS, um, uh, Sayed, who I saw in here earlier. Any of you want to come on, Marbles, Daniel, any of you want to come on, and you want to have a little chit chat with me, we can do that right now. Bear with me. So yeah, so anyone that wants to come on who's a member, do come on. We'll have a little chit chat for about 15 minutes. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I knew I owe you about 15 million of these membership shows. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. Let me get my Twitter up. All right. Let me just come off here. Yes, please. Thank you, Unique. Please do try and get me up those likes for those of you, the rest of you who are watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. This was just a little quick catch up show, really. That's what one of these was. Been a while since I've done a catch up show, so yeah. 2 seconds. Trying to remember who you are on Twitter. There you go. I've sent a link to DVS. Anyone else that wants to come on, just let me know. Marbles, I'll DM you if you want to come on. Marbles. Hold on 1 second. One second. Marbles. There you are. All right, so I sent you the link as well, Marbles. So this is what I do for my membership shows, guys. Anyone who's wondering, essentially, yeah, for anyone who's wondering, I'll invite people on. We'll have a little chit chat about some of the stories that I've literally just been talking about, or anything else that might be on our mind. And go a little back and forth, have a little back and forth with some of the eagle eyes who are members on here, and then yeah, we go about our separate ways. We may even talk about the Friends premiere that seems to have been trending all day on Twitter. You never know. All right, I see both of them out now. All right, so first and foremost, let's see them. Let's see them. EVS, the people.
What's up, Chig?
Are you good?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Excellent.
Also joining us. Oh,
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah,
All
Chig,
right.
what's happening? You good?
Yeah, I'm okay, man. You good?
Yeah. How you recovering?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm taking these things in percentages so that people understand where I'm at. So I'm probably about 79%.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm all right. So how are you lads? How are you finding things with the Arsenal at the moment?
Well, I didn't know what to think about the last Sunday, because finishing above Spurs, which is always just banner, right? But this is unpopular opinion, but I'd have taken that Conference League. I know people cuss and stuff, but the thing is, I just want success in Europe. It's 1994. I was a kid then when we last won the Cup Winners' Cup, and that doesn't even exist anymore, the trophy. So, if we were in that Conference League, I think we could have won it. I really do. So, I don't know, but
for me, I don't shit on anyone that wants us to finish as high as we possibly can. It's my personal preference that I wanted to miss out on it, but I certainly don't shit on anyone that disagrees with me. It totally makes sense. Of course you do. Of course you want us to win something that we can actually win. Of course, makes total sense.
Because the Conte, obviously we're talking just now about Conte. Yeah, I'll take him. Like you, I agree. Rafa for me is my first choice, but Conte is an elite level manager and would do, even with some of our dead players, he would do something. He's obviously won the Premier League before, but I think KSE will keep him. I think they'll give him a transfer window. They'll get some big name player. Well, not big name, but someone in a position we like. How they got Partey, how they got Gabriel last time, or Pepe the season before, or even Aubameyang, where we needed a striker like to replace Alexis's goals and stuff. And I think they'll give him the window, and they'll say to him probably, okay, all right, cool, you got the job for now, but do something up until Christmas, and if not, then you're gone. I think that's how they roll. Because they're not ambitious or ruthless enough, in my opinion, like how Chelsea would do it, like how, even clubs like, say, Watford, look at how they change managers. There's no disrespect to Watford, but I just don't think they have that, ruthlessness to say, all right, you're out the door, we'll get in someone elite, like a Conte or like a Benitez. So I think we're stuck with him for at least another... Let's put it this way, we could be stuck with him for longer if he actually does improve. Let's say we're like 4th or 5th by Christmas, then they'll probably think, all right, cool, we're vindicated in keeping him. So who knows? But minimum, I'll say the first half of next season, we have to stick with this with our manager.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you.
I agree too. That's the thing. If we end up 3rd or 4th place come December, there's not going to be any strength to try to push him out. And we're going to miss on a good opportunity of getting Conte or Rafa Benitez. We're going to be late again. We're always seem to be behind when it comes to getting important players, important managers, important staff. It's a never-ending cycle. And as long as we keep that same mentality that we had at the end of the Wenger era, nothing's going to change. We're not making a move for Conte. No way. I wish. But, our ownership's not going to do that.
No, you're killing me, man. You are killing me.
I agree with Marble Halls. It's just, if we start out the season good, there's going to be no real reason for the board to let him go, unfortunately. But if we start out as shit, then I'm going to want, Conte as soon as possible, but he's going to be gone this summer. I'm just worried that Conte may place Ole.
Yeah, I think so. There's a good chance, because here's the thing. This is why our fan base needs to have a real look at themselves, because I can almost guarantee if we were in United's position, there is no way on earth that anyone would even be thinking about getting rid of Ole. No way on earth.
I agree 100%, yeah.
They'd be like, what are you talking about? He finished second and he's got us to a final. So, what do you mean? He doesn't win trophies. So the way they see it, the way they look at it is, he's not good enough. Let's get rid of him. Whereas us, we're still umming and ahhing, and he's led us to 2 8th-place finishes. 8. So what are we doing to ourselves? This is why we don't deserve. This is why sometimes we honestly don't deserve it. The idea that we're umming and ahhing, and you actually have some people that are saying that they wouldn't sack Arteta even if Conte was available. To me, blows my mind.
Mine too.
It blows my mind.
He would bring instant success, I think, Chick. I think he would definitely get us in the top 4 back in Europe for sure.
Do you think someone like Aubameyang will be fucking around if Conte was in charge? No chance.
No. I just don't. I think Arteta's just lost respect with some of the senior players, which he should. I mean, we were fucking 15th. I'm not going to forget that. Marble Halls isn't going to forget it. You're not going to forget it. Everyone on the chat's not going to forget it. We were fucking 15th. I would have sacked his ass immediately, and brought Rafa Benitez in.
Not only were we 15th, mate, he was really getting me to consider life relegated. This wasn't just a fleeting. What if we actually got relegated? Ha 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 ha. I actually thought about it. Like, what would life be like if Arsenal got relegated?
Well, remember, he didn't want to play Smith Rowe. He had to play Smith Rowe, and he was the spark that changed our season. He's the one that spun our season back around. You know, him and Saka. And what if they would have gotten injured? What if they would have gotten injured back in December or January? We would have been fucked.
That's what drives me insane. That he's seen as this manager who promotes young players. No, he ain't. Bar Bukayo Saka, this guy has found reasons to not play every single youngster you see in the team right now. It's only because those youngsters have been undeniable that he's had to force them into the team. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the team.
I just think the club needs to have some balls and get Conte in as soon as possible, or Rafa Benitez, or Zinedine Zidane. I mean, there's a plethora of good choices out now of managers. I think we get Ruben Neves.
Hilarious. You know what's hilarious?
We have a different team.
Let me say something controversial, and I get it's controversial. You guys will disagree, but I'll stand by it. I wouldn't have Zidane. You know why? Because in spite of the Champions League wins, I still think he's inexperienced. Which shows you how fucked we are.
I get where you're coming from. The thing is, he must have something about him to have won 3 Champions League on the belt.
I get it. I totally get it. I totally get that. That is a thought process that I have, and that is unique to me. But I still wouldn't have him. If you ask me genuinely, would I have him? Would I have him compared to Arteta? Of course, of course. As somebody, as Diesel said to me the other day, I don't want to fall into this trap of, because I'm so desperate for us to get rid of Arteta that I just want us to get anybody. So I think that's a really, really important point. That whoever we move on to, it has to be the correct person.
Right. Go ahead, Jig. I'm sorry. Even if
no matter how much you want rid of Arteta, it has to be the correct person. But even so, if you said to me, do you want Zinedine Zidane? I'd say, honestly, no. for that reason. That's why I'm so against Mikel Arteta. Because if I wouldn't even have Zidane for the same reason, and he has Champions Leagues to back him up, not an FA Cup, Champions Leagues to back him up. What the heck is the debate about?
You bring up a very good point about Zinedine Zidane's kind of riding the Jose Mourinho wave in the 2010s, right? Where Jose was on the good teams, and he was carrying them through titles and shit, but those were world-class teams. And so Madrid was a world-class team, obviously, for 3+ years in a row with Ronaldo and Benzema and the rest of the group. But I don't know, man. You bring in someone like Zinedine Zidane, that really changes attitudes right away because the guy commands respect. And that's the thing. Arteta's never going to get the respect from us fans, the real ones, right? The Rat Army. We're never going to respect him. To me, he was a last-minute signing in 2008. He should essentially be at Everton, right? And Ancelotti should essentially be with us. So the point is about Zidane too. You never know when the fucker's going to quit, right? I want someone in there long term. Zidane could go in there for 6 months and say, "I'm out of here," and go back to Madrid. You know? So I think the aura of a Zidane is absolutely what Arsenal needs to get kicked up their ass. You know, that type of character. But I think you're right about the experience. But those teams were already like high caliber championship winning teams. You know, I even think there's a point where lower level managers maybe be a little bit off. Like Eddie Howe could have won those fucking Champions League matches, but of course I'm joking. But
yeah. But you've literally just rebutted why I disagree with what Ben put in the chat. For the simple reason that we have looked at a man who, Zidane, he has us in his aura. He's that sort of guy that will go into a dressing room and command not only the respect, everything of that dressing room. But I wonder what will happen where on that particular rainy Tuesday where that shit don't happen.
Right.
What happens? What would he do? How would he fix it? How would he go about it? And you do sense that he's had a few of those days at Real Madrid where things ain't always gone his way. People have not always been in love with him or been besotted with him. And he hasn't known what to do. And then, like you say, it feels like there's almost like a temper tantrum that happens. And he quits or something happens. And then before you know it, Zinedine Zidane has resigned. They want to make you know that he resigned from the post, as opposed to him being sacked. It's like, what is all this? So I don't know. Like I say, this is just my personal feeling. I've always thought this about Zidane, that I love the idea of it, but it's the same reason why when push comes to shove, I would never hire Thierry Henry for a manager of this club. Right, because I think Henry would have an amazing start as manager of the club. And then you would have Arsene Wenger 2.0 in your hands. Because no one would know when to sack him, how to sack him. You had too much respect for him. How do we do it? He's a legend. You know, you would never be able to do it. Not only that, he just seems like a sort of guy where I'm not sure he would know what to do if the going got tough. Then what would he do?
That's where I think where the Zidane is just that much of higher level than sort of an entry-level manager like Henry, right? I mean, Zidane's been, Zidane's a good 7 or 8 years older than Henry, as I believe. So that much more experience, right? But I get what you're saying. Like the way Chelsea did Lampard is just like, it's still shocking to even talk about. You know, granted, he didn't have Chelsea in a good position, but I mean, he was their number one guy, and they just, why we don't do that to Arteta is just mind-boggling. I don't get it. Would you take someone like a Pippo Inzaghi?
Inzaghi, how long has he stopped playing football? Because I don't think he has experience too, does he?
Yeah. No. Probably like
that's another one I wouldn't have. Yeah. Not for me. Not for me. For me, it's blindingly obvious that there's only two options out there. Conte, if you really want to win the lottery, and then Rafa, if there's the only argument against Rafa is he's been out of elite football for 3 years. Is he up to date with everything that's happening? Right? That's the only argument that you can make. Other than that, to me, those are the two obvious choices.
Right. Well, even like Daniel saying here in the chat, when Juventus sacked Pirlo for Allegri, it was basically because they wanted someone with experience that can take them back to the promised land. That's the thing. They don't win the Scudetto, and they go say fuck it, and they go get someone who can win in the Scudetto. You know, I can't think of any other reason why they would let Pirlo go. See, Inzaghi's already an Inter, exactly. You know, but they're also going to cut like 80 million from their team. So I don't know, Jake. If we get Conte, I'd be surprised because I don't see this board doing anything until probably December if we're back in 15th again. Unfortunately, I just don't see it happening this summer unless Daniel Ek takes over and that all happens.
This might be I just want to touch on the Zidane thing briefly, and then I want to bring up kind of maybe a bit of a left field point. The thing with Zidane is that if Real Madrid only lost the Liga this season to Atletico by a point, so it was touch and go to an extent. And Real Madrid's team is old. Well, let's be frank, you got Modric is over 30, Benzema's over 30, Varane's I think about 30, Marcelo's over 30, Courtois over 30, Hazard's about 30, even though he's been injured a lot. Cruz is getting to 30, so he could get the best out of players who are not at their prime, or at least it shows good man management. And to be fair, you don't hear much of the players at Real Madrid. Ramos is over 30. You don't hear all of them cuss Zizou and stuff. Yes, I suppose he's a club legend there, so they're going to have respect for him. But I think if he is man management and can develop players and can manage players of different, like, certainly age, then maybe he could do something at Arsenal if he does have that man management. But I just want to say, like a left field, would anyone take Poch, given his obvious Tottenham connections? Because he has won trophies at PSG now, so he hasn't got that monkey off his back. And let's be frank, he is a good manager, and I think he could develop younger players and stuff. I don't think it will happen, but as I say, it's a left field. Even if he does leave PSG, and I don't think he will, because obviously the PSG owners are ruthless, but I suspect they'll give him another year, and they'll say to him, look, you have to either win League A or win the Champions League. If not, you're gone. So I don't know. It's just, as I say, it's a left field option.
I would take him. Once you leave Tottenham and go to another team, and then Arsenal wants you, you're free and clear of all the Tottenham scum and curse. So yeah, I think he's a great tactician. I mean, look at what he did with Tottenham. I would take him over Zidane, not over Allegri or Conte or Benitez.
See, I suppose that's where I'm at. See, if and I'm trying to desperately not to fall into this Arteta trap. Would I have him over Arteta? Of course. Would I have him just on his own merit? Yeah, I'd probably roll the dice, but I don't think he'd be top of my list. I don't think he'd be bottom of the list, especially because we'd also have to pay to release him as well. For someone that you're kind of sort of enthusiastic about, if not, to me, I don't know.
Hey guys, I'm going to take off and let someone else get on.
No. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap up anyway. But thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. And I'll chat to you guys again soon. And thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed Late Night with Chig, the membership edition. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be just me talking transfer rumors only tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy more content as we hit the summer. This is what we do, baby. All right, claiming my nights back. Told you. I'm in for my nights again. All right, I'm out of here. Take care. Enjoy your night. Have a good weekend. Peace.